So one of the most exciting things about the film is to be working truly with a group of world-class artists, literally from around the world. We're using a truly international cast that has resulted in, you know, this incredible family that is creating this unbelievable world.
Set.
Brother, good to see you.
And you, brother.
The script itself, the story, was a really fascinating story, and at the end of the day, you can have all those worlds that you go through, but you need to be riveted by the interactions between, you know, the characters.
From set.
Come on, let Ra himself hear you.
Set is a fascinating villain. He is not just your typical evil, I'm going to take over Egypt bad guy. He has a very complicated structure within him. And probably the best thing about the character is the fact that we cast Jerry Butler, who just brings such an interesting, you know, multiple amount of levels to the character. He is such an enthusiastic guy in general. He is gruff, he is crazy, he is funny. No one likes making movies more than this guy. And it just brings such an interesting spirit to set that really wasn't there initially. And working with him, we've kind of brought out a much more complicated character than we had to begin with.
I don't know if before when I trip him, just so there's a little bit more there, so rather than what was the
I'm gonna miss our little get-togethers.
Yeah, like maybe say, I'm gonna miss our little get-togethers. Or you know, as I trim go, I may actually miss a little get-togethers, but you're still no match for me.
Yeah, and then boom.
Yeah, and then he hits me, and then
Yeah.
now you're becoming a pest.
It's amazing. I mean, it's fun to play the villain. I mean, he's the ultimate badass, Set. He's so incredibly dangerous. He's so incredibly angry, and yet it's composed. But I also wanted to put in there humor and vulnerability and sadness and loneliness, because he has all of those things, you know? What I really loved is his unpredictability. Like, what he does in this movie, even when I'm doing it going, did I really just do that? That's so insane.
You want to hide from me? Learn to talk less.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who most people know from Game of Thrones, plays Horus. And he is sort of our leading man. And he's essentially kind of the perfect guy's guy for this movie.
Well, when I first read the script, I thought, that's a crazy script. How are they gonna pull this off? I mean, I really like the idea of taking these amazing stories from the Egyptian mythology and then really shoot them the way they were told. Like, the gods are this big, humans are this big, the sun god Ra will be in a big boat up in the sky and draw the sun across the sky. I mean, it was insane, and I couldn't imagine how anyone could pull it off. But then, of course, I knew it was Alex Proyas, and he's made some pretty spectacular movies in the past.
Action.
And I'd never done anything like that, and there was something. It was just a perfect timing. I'd done all these character dramas, so to go and do something totally different was very attractive to me.
Normally when a bird lands on my boat, I kill it before it can shit.
In casting Ra, we knew we needed someone special. It had to be an iconic figure playing this iconic figure. And who better than Geoffrey Rush? He has a very Ra-ian presence. He is such a warm, gentle guy. But yet he gets up on stage and he just dissolves into this uber god that he is of the cinema.
Alex wanted us to rehearse, so we had a lot of readings with all the cast members, and so that was just an opportunity for me to talk acting with Geoffrey. One day he came like, do you want to see what I'm preparing for my part? So he's like taking a big picture of an old turtle, 1,000 years old. He's like, yeah, I don't want my character to be, godlike. I want it to be, I don't want to be my character. I don't want my character to be human-like. I want it to be, like an animal. So he found this, and I thought it was, it's fun. It's nice to see how, everyone prepare for the character. Sorry, I do a really bad impression of him. He doesn't talk like this at all.
Stay in my shadow.
Why?
Just do as I say.
Quentin Thwaites plays Beck, and he is a pretty new young actor on the scene, and we couldn't be more happy to have him. He is wildly enthusiastic, just works his tail off. He's in nearly every scene in the movie, and it helps that he's a young, energetic guy to be in this film.
What drew me into Gods was the fantasy element. Gods had
a sense of magic to it, a sense of the fantastical that I've never really done before. I just thought it would be a fun opportunity to explore with those challenges. The CGI characters and the world in general was pretty appealing.
You may not control the wind, Zaya, but I think you could close a shutter. There weren't any very large parts left over in this, but there was one part of Urshu who, on paper, was ridiculously evil. And I've played evil people before, you know. Some extremely annoying people think it's my stock in trade. That's not quite true. But it can seem that way. So when I read it, I just thought, oh, it seems so just bad. But I spoke to Alex Proyas, and we talked about the possibility of making him a little bit potentially more comic.
And the one before, you actually smiled a little bit, which I quite liked.
Okay, so if I can basically tell the story on the way there, I don't see why we have to do this.
Yeah.
But then,
Can we do one more, please?
Yep. But it's ended up being quite a lot of fun, and it's made it more fun to work with Jerry in that way, because I've known Jerry for years. You know, we've never worked together. And the thought of playing with him playing a god twice my size, is something I had to get over. But you know, he loved it, obviously.
Hathor, played by Elodie Young, she's the goddess of love, of wine, of music, and a hypnotic character.
She's a really strong character. There's a lot going on. I see her as putting different masks on. She would be truthful with Horus. You know, you would feel the love. She would be herself as well with Beck. She wants to help him because he's got this true love for Zaya. So, she would be herself like this. But when she's with Seth, she put the sexy mask on, and she's like, yeah, like I'm the party girl. I don't care about anything. So she has different aspects that you would find, I think, in the mythology when you read all the myths. And then we try to, to keep the essence and put it in the movie. So she's very complex, and that's just great.
Is that him? Them?
Of course not.
Then who are they?
His trusted servant.
What attracted me to it was simply that I was familiar with the mythology. And I thought it was interesting that somebody was doing a movie about Egypt and about these guys, and in particular this story. I think there's a humor in this movie that it's a weird tone. It's a good tone, but I didn't expect it to be, as funny as it is. So I'm happy that I did it to just sort of play off of Nikolai, who could obviously do very serious and epic parts, and Jerry as well.
Jerry, just take your hand slightly to your right with the drain. That's good.
Jerry just pulls my brain out in our scene. That's I don't see him do it, so it's like it happens. But I think it's cool to be in a movie like that has that tone, because it's a challenging thing to try.
I got asked to audition from here, and I put down a tape in my lounge room in about 3 seconds and sent it off, and within a day I was asked to go and do a computer model of myself. I was like, whoa, that was quick, like mega quick. Loved the script, the whole fantasy side of ancient mythology of Egypt, but it was more like planet Egypt. And the fact I get to play a goddess and fly is like, yes. Every girl's absolute fantasy.
Beck? Beck, you there? Well, I got sent the script probably like a year before I did my audition. And then I got it again. They're like, oh, you read the script ages ago. And I was like, So I read it, and then they said, Alex wanted to do a Skype call, and I did a Skype call with him, and he was so lovely and so like down to earth and Aussie. So I was like, oh, looks like a great project. And
But she's going to end up she needs to turn
I'll go to have a look
that way, so she gets arrowed. So she's going to end up, you're going to see her arrowed when Courtney's like that, right? So, and then she's going to want to fall this way. Yeah.
I've not shot with blue screen before, but so far it's been great. Alex makes it so easy, and having the actors on offset reading their lines and things helps. Yeah, literally it's just blue. You're surrounded by blue, but you see when you go around, sit with Alex and things, and them editing things in, and you're like, oh, it's like mind-blowing. It's nothing you've seen before. It's incredible.
I won't fight. I love you, brother, with all my heart.
The thing that attracted me to the project was Alex Proyas. With the whole technological movement that's happened in film, a bloke like Alex, who has quite an imagination, can now start to actually make the films that he imagines. And this is monsters and masses of people and big sets and colourful characters, and in the hands of a bloke like Alex, it has a real good chance of being pulled off.
Because the story is so strong and so grounded and the characters are so real, you're with them on this journey. And if you have that, it's gold, because you can go anywhere, you know. So I feel very lucky to be a part of that.